Hey, this is Chan, and today I've got a journaling video for you that I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. I've been wanting to share something with you guys for quite a while, but there are several reasons why I haven't done this sooner. I put a lot of pressure on myself to try to do a good job with this video just because this one's quite special to me, and I was trying to figure out a way to say things without getting really emotional, which is just impossible for me sometimes, right? And there is another reason, which I'll share a little bit later, but this video is going to be a lot of talking. I'm not going to speed anything up just because I've got a lot to say in this one. So if you're not into chatty videos, then this is not for you, but if you love animals, then this is for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and start decorating, and I'm just going to talk while I'm decorating, alright? So, some of you know that in the summertime, I had to say goodbye to my cat Humble. He passed away. So it was a really devastating time for me. I couldn't cope. I couldn't cope. I was really in a dark place for a while, you know? And, I still have trouble, like, I miss him every day. I love the little guy, you know, and I was with him for almost 13 years, so it was just, to suddenly not have him here, it was really, really difficult for me. And when I started posting videos again, regularly anyway, in August, a few people had mentioned to me that I sounded like I was feeling better. And there's a reason for that, and it's actually not because of Hobonichi, because I was posting the Hobonichi videos, right, like about the launch and everything, and it was nice to look forward to the 2018 launch and to have something to look, it was just something to look forward to. It's kind of fun, right? But that actually wasn't the reason why I was feeling happier. The reason I was feeling happier is because I adopted a pet, which I know might surprise some of you because I haven't said anything sooner. I think what might surprise some people is that he's been here for months now, and I'm so grateful that he's here. I've just been wanting to shout this from the rooftops for a while now. The reason why I didn't say anything sooner is because basically I got backlash already about adopting, and I really don't, if people say bad things about me, I really don't care, you know? It's not really something that I want to spend too much energy on, right? But I was already so emotional about Humble, you know, and when people started saying, like, negative things, I really kind of just felt really irritated, I guess you could say, right? Or more than irritated, just because I thought, you know, if people can't be nice, then they shouldn't say anything, you know what I mean? Basically, I had people kind of telling me that, or when I should adopt, or, like, that I shouldn't adopt. I got that too, and that I, you know, should wait longer and that sort of thing. And I really, honestly don't want to dwell on the negativity of others, because I just don't think, life's too short for that, you know? I don't want to do that, right? But I'm just going to say this once, and then I won't say it again. I don't think it's any person's right to tell another person when they should be ready to love somebody again. You know what I mean? Honestly, if I waited until I was ready, whenever that's supposed to be, you know, like, that day would just never come, because I'm not gonna stop grieving for Humble. I'm never gonna stop missing him. I miss him every single day, and I honestly still cry every day. The only thing is that my little guy now, he keeps me really, really busy, so he keeps me from crying too long. You know what I mean? There are two things that I want to be really, really clear about, and one is that I did not adopt this little guy to replace Humble, because no one could replace Humble. You know, I don't think any animal could replace another. Animals are so individual and so special, and they each have their own personality and their own mind and their own funny little, you know, the funny little things they do that melt your heart. You know, it's just, every animal is so individual. So I really don't believe that any animal could replace another. So I did not adopt him to replace Humble, because that's not possible. Another thing I really wanted to mention is that I did not adopt him with the intention of giving him the job of making me feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not here to work to make me feel better. I want him to be happy. I want him to, you know, be loved. And the fact is that he does make me feel better, you know, but he doesn't have to do anything. You know, he's just himself, and that's enough. You know, he's a very cheerful little guy, and he doesn't have to work to make me feel better. So after Humble passed away, I was really depressed, right? And I also felt really lonely too. And I'm not a people person, so I really didn't want to be around people, and I didn't want to talk to people either. You know, being around people and talking to people would not help me. So I went on Adopt a Pet because I wanted to just feel closer to animals. And so I was on Adopt a Pet for, it was like a couple of weeks when I was on there every day for hours at a time. And more than once a day too. Most days I was like on like a couple times a day and for hours at a time. And I would look through the profiles of the animals and read their stories. And basically I spent a lot of time crying. Because my heart broke so many times, eh? Like, I was looking at all these little faces of animals who want so much for somebody to just come along and give them a chance, you know? And that really just, it hurt me. I would just look at their faces, and I got to the point where because I was on there so often and for so long, too, and I felt like I knew them all, you know? And I knew their names, and I knew about some of their special needs, and all that kind of thing, all that kind of stuff. When some of them got adopted, I would be cheering for them because I just felt like they're all my friends, you know? So when some of them got adopted, I'd be cheering for them. And when I would see the same faces days later and weeks later, I just felt so sad for them because, you know, they're waiting and waiting. Because I was on there so often, I also could recognize when new animals' profile pages were added, right? So there was this one day when I think it was my third time looking that day. And it was at night, and then I saw some new profile or little thumbnails of little animal pictures for pets that had just been recently added to the site, right? And I was like, my eyes are all puffy from crying so much, right? But there was this one little guy I actually didn't even see his whole face because the way the pictures are cropped, the thumbnails are cropped, I could only see part of his face, but the part that I saw, I'll show you the part that I saw. Okay, so I'm going to try to cover up his face here so you can see kind of like my first view of him, okay? So when I first saw him, I didn't see his full face because I could only see part of his face the way the thumbnail was cropped, so it was kind of like this, right? But when I saw his smile, I smiled for the first time in like weeks, eh? It was just like I hadn't laughed or smiled in weeks because I was so sad, you know? And then when I saw his face, I actually smiled for the first time in a while, and so I clicked on his picture, and this is the face that I saw. And I don't know, he just made me feel happy, and I kind of was at the point where I thought that I would never feel happy again, you know? And when I saw him, I thought, oh, with that smile, he's probably already adopted. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, he probably got adopted, 5 seconds ago, you know? Because he's got that bright smile. I couldn't help it, though. I just thought, at least ask about him, because if I don't ask about him, then I'll always wonder, what if I had asked about him, right? He was staying with a foster mom, so I sent an email, and I filled out an application, and I was just kind of, like, getting really nervous, because I was waiting for a reply. I thought they'd probably reject me and all that kind of stuff, right? And then when I heard back from her, I was just so surprised, you know, to hear back, because I really thought that I didn't have a chance. In the last couple of years that I got to be with Humble, I really considered adopting a dog to add to our family, right? Because Humble loves animals, right? So I'd really considered adopting a dog to add to our family, but then realistically, I could not afford to take care of 2 pets at once, right? Because I want to be able to afford, like, vet bills and medications and stuff, right? And I couldn't really realistically afford to take care of a dog as well. And then I felt so bad for Humble, because I just felt like, because I don't make enough money, I can't add to his family. I felt like I was taking something away from him, you know? The opportunity to have, like, another animal friend in the house. So I felt really guilty about that. So some people would probably say that I adopted too soon, but I don't think it's anyone's place to judge. And honestly, each day without Humble felt so painfully long. It was really hard for me. And I think one of the main reasons why, I think one of the main reasons why I felt okay about adopting again is because, I mean, I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to get off the couch. I didn't want to do anything. I was just really in a dark place. And one day, I was, like, lying on the couch, crying, and then I was looking at, I have all these pictures of Humble on the wall, and I was looking at his face, and I was just thinking, you know, if Humble was here, he would just tell me that I need to get up and help somebody else, you know? Like, he wouldn't want me to be depressed, and he wouldn't want me to not help another animal, because I know that he would want me to help somebody, you know? So, because of Humble, I felt okay about adopting again, you know? And I'll show you a picture of Humble. This is my little guy here. And, you can see that when his face is turned to the side, he looks like he's smiling, right? So I used to say that this is like his secret smile or his magic smile, you know? So I wanted to put his picture right here as well. I know that he would absolutely love this little guy here. So I just want to say that I honestly think that Humble has the best name in the world. You know, when I came up with his name, I felt like it was so right, and I love his name so much. His name is precious to me, right? So when I was trying to come up with a name for this little guy, I was having such a hard time because I was just trying to think of a name that I would love as much. And then I thought of a way to honor Humble, because when I was a little kid, I read Charlotte's Web, and I love that book, right? And I love the pig in the story, right? And then it just so happened that for Christmas, when I was a kid, someone gave me a plush pig. And I kept him all these years. Like, I don't have very much from my childhood, but I kept that plush pig all these years. And Humble loved that pig so much, and he would snuggle with him every day. I'm telling you, he would snuggle with him. He would fall asleep on him. Like, he would nap with him and curl up with him and nap with him every day. He loved this pig so much. So I just thought, what a great way to honor Humble, you know? Because that pig is Humble's snuggle buddy, right? So I wanted this little guy to have that name, Wilbur. So his name is Wilbur, and whenever I say his name, I just feel a warmth too, you know? Just like when I say Humble's name. And I feel like his name is so right for him. And I thought, what better way to honor Humble than to name this little guy after his snuggle buddy, you know? So this is Wilbur, my dog. And when I saw his face, I felt lighter. I honestly, that's the reason I feel so grateful for animals, you know? They have this magical ability to, like, lift you up out of your sadness. There's a lot of things I haven't told you guys about myself. One of those things is that I was really depressed for a long time, for most of my life before I met Humble. And he was the one that got me out of that. And he didn't have to do anything. He was just there for me. And it's funny because I thought I was depressed for so long, and I thought that if there was ever a day that I, you know, stopped feeling depressed, I really honestly thought it would feel like this big shock to my system. You know, I felt like it was going to be like I was being shaken, you know, like this big, whoa, you're not depressed anymore. I thought it was just going to be this major shift in how I felt. But it wasn't like that. Like, the day that I brought Humble home, he lifted away my depression as if it was never there. And I'm so grateful to him. Like, I can't even tell you how grateful I am to him for that. So after he passed away, I was afraid that I was going to go back to the way I was before. And the truth is that I did. I started just, but even worse than how I felt before, because just being without Humble was very difficult for me. So I started just spiraling downhill, and it was really scary, to be honest with you, because I mean, it's not like I didn't know what depression feels like, but I was scared that I was just kind of, I felt like I was spiraling so quickly, you know what I mean? And it really frightened me. When I found this little guy, I felt hopeful again, and I'm really, really grateful for him. Oh, I didn't tell you guys how I did this. So what I did was I printed their photos out onto photo paper, right? And then, so let's see here. So I printed their photos onto photo paper with some white space around there, right? And then I used this washi tape and I just created the border with this washi tape. So I attached the washi tape right onto the photo paper, and then I trimmed around the washi tape to make a little frame. So I haven't told you guys what kind of dog Wilbur is. He is a Corgi Chihuahua mix. So he's got the kind of a long body and short little legs of a Corgi, and he's got kind of the facial features of a Chihuahua. So his eyes are kind of more like a Chihuahua's eyes. I've always had this major soft spot for Corgis because of those little legs. I just honestly, like, the little legs are just totally, like, I can't, I'm just like a total bush when I see Corgis. And when I saw this little guy, I mean, I didn't even know at first that he was part Corgi, part Chihuahua, right? I just saw his smile, and then when I saw his smile, he warmed my heart so much that I just felt something in me that, you know, this is my dog. You know, I just felt, you know how you just know? I think when you see them, you just know, eh? His foster mom, that she actually took this picture. I think she took this with her phone, because when I tried to take pictures of him with my, I had the, you know, one of those really old, big SLR cameras, or DSLR cameras. He's like, he doesn't like my camera. I think it's just because it looks kind of scary. So whenever I try to take a picture of him, he will turn his face to the side, like he won't look at the camera. So she got a sweet little picture of him looking at the camera. I think because she was taking a picture with her phone. So his foster mom was telling me that he was not doing well in the shelter. He was like growling at people, and he hates being in a kennel, right? So he was not happy there. But if you just think about how scary it is to be in a shelter environment, if you can imagine how afraid they are, then, I mean, Humble was so afraid in the shelter as well, you know? If you can just try to think about how afraid they are in that environment, I totally understand why he would be growling at people, you know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes people don't want to give them a chance if they think that the dog is aggressive or something, but he is not an aggressive dog at all. He is the cuddliest dog I've ever met in my life. I've never met a dog who loves snuggling as much as Wilbur does. It just goes to show that you can't judge them by the way they act in the shelter environment, you know what I mean? So he's about 8 years old. Just like Humble, his exact age is unknown. You know, he's kind of an ageless wonder like Humble is. I knew that if I was going to adopt a pet, that I would want to adopt an older pet. So I just have a soft spot for older pets. So some of you might be wondering why I didn't adopt another cat. The reason is, well, I actually did look at cats on Adopt a Pet. I looked at bunnies too. I did look at cats as well. I just really didn't think that it would be fair to another cat right now, because I mean, if you've watched any of my videos, and you know I love cats, right? I love cats so much. I just didn't think it would be fair to another cat, because whenever I see cats, I smile at first because I love cats so much. But then I just think about Humble, and then part of me just, I feel so sad, and then I start tearing up and I start crying. Eh? So I just didn't think it would be fair to another cat if I adopted one and then kept thinking about Humble all the time, you know? Because, I mean, I think about Humble all the time. The void that was left when he passed away was just quite unbearable, to be honest with you. But like I said in another video, I'm not saying any of this to get sympathy from people. I never want people to pity me, because I don't feel sorry for myself, you know? I just, we all go through tough things, and I think sometimes it's just, like, if you hold it in, it's harder, right? Like, if you talk about stuff that's difficult, then sometimes that, it just makes you feel a little bit lighter, you know? So that's why I share this stuff with you guys, because, well, not just to make myself feel lighter, but also just to hopefully help others feel a little bit lighter too. Even though I know I cried a lot in this video, but, you know, we all go through some things, and it's nice to not feel like we're all alone in it. And I have this cute little dog right here. Little dog stickers. So I want to make this little guy look like he's peeking out from behind Wilbur's photo. So I'm going to cut the sticker, which I always feel bad, but I'm cutting through animal stickers. I just feel bad about it. But I'm going to save this other part of the sticker, because I think in the future I can have his bum sticking out from something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep this part here. This sticker here. This one says, "You had me at meow." So sweet. And this one here says, "If all else fails, hug your dog." So sweet too. So here are a couple more stickers I want to add. This one says, heart my cat. And then this one says, heart my dog. I want to add these here. And right here. And Humble's sticker can go right here. And there you have it. There's my layout for today. In these spaces here, I want to do some journaling. I want to write a message to Wilbur and Humble over there. So that's going to be off camera. I'm going to use this pen here. This is a friction pen. It looks really bright there, but it matches this green right here. It's a darker green than the barrel there. So I'm going to be using that. Anyways, I just want to say thanks for watching, and if you watched all the way to the end, thanks for listening too. I appreciate you. Alright, bye!